Language facilitators. I hope everything's working okay. We've got all of the sound and everything going just right. I just wanted to check. I think we're all good. So, hi everybody. It's Marcy from wavesofcommunication.com. I'm an intuitive speech language pathologist and language facilitation coach and consultant. I'm doing a little impromptu live today to check in with you because we're in the middle of a challenge, everybody. It's this one, the virtual autism challenge, where you've got 3 weeks to potentially change your child's life by changing how you show up and work with them and changing their experience, right? So that's how you're going to move forward in this challenge. You're going to change the things that I know you have control over. You don't have control really over your child, but you do have control over the environment that your child is in, and you have control over what happens in those environments, especially if you're there and present in the situation. So I wanted to do this little live. I see some people are joining me. Welcome today. And just before I get into how I want to check in with you, because I've got some questions to ask you. But before I do that, I have to give a little member shout out to Peahen, to our pander. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying all that right, but you have taken advantage. This person has also spent a little time with me doing a consultation and realized the value of what I put out in content to the point where she wanted to work with me personally. And so she came to my website and booked a conference with me. And we talked all about her child and her situation. And she's got a lot of new things. She's just realizing she's just getting started. And hopefully, all of you then who are joining me, you're also just getting started. And so we do have some questions coming in, but before I answer your questions, I'm going to talk quickly about this challenge and how it's going so far. So far, we're in the first week, and this is what we talked about, reconnecting with the late talker. And so I know that you might have some questions about reconnection. So that's what you're going to share in the comments of this video. And I'll do my best to sort of address those questions as well. If not, and you're watching on the replay, post your questions here and I'll address them on the next video, which is coming up on Thursday in 2 days' time. And it's about structure. So we've moved through connection and we're moving into structure. And that's what we're going to be talking about this week. But you're not going to be able to get structure going without reconnecting and reducing your tech time. So the first question that I have for you, considering it's been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you've had the whole weekend and a day or two to implement these strategies. And all the strategies that I gave you on that video are things that you can start doing right now. You don't have to hire anybody, get any new things. You just have to change your life around to make this child's life better, and you be the source and prove that you are making that connection. So how much tech time have you reduced? I want you to be brave, all of you watching me, and in the comments right now, put two numbers. Number one is the number of tech time your child was using total, add it all up together before you started this challenge. And now, almost a week later, 5 days later, how much tech time have you reduced it to? It might not be your end game. You might not have even been able to reduce it down to less than 1 hour or 2 30-minute periods, which is what I recommended. But I want you to comment now, please. And the reason I'm encouraging you to be brave and do that is because I want other parents to see how much tech time you've been using, because they won't feel so bad. Remember, all of you are using more than you need to, otherwise you wouldn't be in this challenge. So how much time have you reduced? Go ahead and share that now. And then In another comment, I know I'm asking you to make more than one comment here, but I really want to see this data, and you're super helping me out and other parents out. This is why we're challenging this diagnosis, because I want you to know you're not alone. This challenge has been the most watched video series on my channel so far. I've had the most subscribers, the most engagement in the last week since I started this challenge than I've had for months and months, even though I've traveled all around the world. So I know this is important, and I know you're involved. So comment then, and then help us all out and share with us, what is your go-to replacement activity? What are you replacing it with? Are you going outside? Are you spending time in the bath? Are you reading books? What are you doing to replace that tech time? What is it that you're replacing it with? And it might be a number of things, or your go-to thing. What is it that your child has grabbed onto, right? Because now it's your go-to because you've tested it. You've tried it. You've done something already, right? That your child has done. And then, excuse me, put that in the comments so other parents can see what you're using for your replacement activity. This is super, super helpful. And thank you so much for being brave and being honest and being transparent, just like I am here, because we're trying to help change these kids' lives. And remember, you've already changed them in one way, and you want to try to get them going the other way. So that's the second question that I have. And I have one more question for you. So if you're watching this video live or on the replay, you should be making 3 comments if you're really participating in this challenge. And the third one is, what changes have you seen? Because remember, this challenge is about addressing the symptoms. And the symptoms that we used in this challenge were things like your child not responding when you call them, your child not making eye contact with you, your child being super impulsive, running and jumping and escaping from you, and things like that. Those are the signs, right, of disconnection. How have you seen change in the signs of disconnection by replacing tech time with your connected time? Please put in the comments. I see some comments are coming in. Let's just take a look at a couple of things that we see. I see that there's a question, but here's one that says, I tell my kids that internet is down or the TV needs to take a nap, just like us. So there's some justification. There's some explaining why. I love that this is a go-to strategy, because you're not bribing the child off of tech onto something else. You're actually justifying the reason that we all need a break. And in a lot of kids' case, even our case, we all need a break from tech if we're getting too much tech. And why do we need a break? Well, the internet's down. That's sort of a, white lie, because in fact, it is down because you're in control. And the internet is shut down because you are in control. You shut it down. You can blame it on the internet provider, but you don't have to, because you can be in control of this situation, and you can just tell them it's not available. That's sort of the hard line in structure. We're going to be talking about how this kind of structure is what's going to help you keep up. So here's Ashley. She says 6 hours and she hasn't been able to see any decrease because it's super hard. So we need to figure out, Ashley, somehow, some way for you to make those replacement activities easier. And in Bubiner's case, she's going cold turkey. When it's not tech time, it's not tech time. And because Ashley's asking, how do you get them to quit watching TV? And then that's what they want to watch. Well, you haven't watched that video because you have to offer something better and prove day after day, experience after experience. Let me put this back up here. The only way that you get them to quit watching TV is to prove to them that you are better. And it could be a real challenge to reconnect with kids and prove that you are better. All right. But this is how it goes. So look at, they don't watch TV. Jasmine says they're 4 years old and they don't watch TV, and they're 4 years old. So, and this is a grandma, they do have virtual autism. They're improving, but they won't ask anything. They pull our hands. Baby girl only blabs, but the rest are okay. Good sleep. extra. I don't know what that means. Please help. You're going to have to explain more details, Jasmine, about your child's case in the description, and we'll talk about that next time. If you haven't watched, listen, all of you watching now, if you're making comments, these questions that I've asked you, you'll only be able to answer them with progress if you have taken on this challenge hardcore. I mean, really replace this tech time. You have to be really good. And Ashley says that she's used magnetic times, water table, trampoline, and going to the park. And Bubbles, those are amazing activities. And you're not going to get learning and structure and all of that stuff done this week while you do a lot more of this. But these things are at least more collaborative and cooperative than the kinds of things that you can find on a device. Okay, so I love these kinds of comments that are coming in. Now, I want to remind all of you about how we're going to be moving forward with this challenge. So first of all, answer those questions for me if you're watching live or on the replay. Once again, how much tech time have you reduced? Because these are the goals, actually, of this challenge. And you're going to need to reduce tech time and replace it with you. And that's what this first workshop, it's over an hour and 15 minutes of workshop that you can look at. Let me show you again what the thumbnail looks at. And if you haven't found it in my videos, look under the live section, because these are live workshops that I'm doing. So reconnecting is necessary before you can change these symptoms. And how you know you're reconnecting is that your child does give you better eye contact. They respond when you call them for better activities, and they choose to give up the tech to start to spend more time with you. And it might not happen in a week that you can reduce it cold turkey, because it's not just enough to take away the tech time. Again, you have to prove over and 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 over again that you're better than the tech. Because remember, these tech videos, these videos that your kids are watching on screens or TV or wherever they're watching them, you see, those videos are designed to attract and get your kids addicted to watch them over and over and over and over again. That's why they're created the way they are. And the reality is that loving connection that comes from your hearts is more powerful than that tech addiction. And that's why you can ease this in and replace this time if you are connected with valuable experiences that make this child's life better than sitting by themselves with a device, watching it in the dark, not outside, not moving their body. They don't know what it's like to have these new experiences. And so it's up to you to help to continue to introduce them over and over and over and over again to super easy, super fun. You can't go from watching a video to a 5-mile hike. There is zero tech kids that want to do that. But you can go from watching video inside a cool house to playing out in the sun in the cool water table. You can get these things in short bits to begin with, and then you start ticking that tech time down, 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 down. So it's also really important that you pay attention to how much tech time is going on and what and why you're using it, okay? That's in that first virtual autism video. And if you haven't watched these videos and you think you can just show up and ask questions to get the answers, that's not how this is gonna work. The whole reason I'm putting in all the effort and time to make these workshop videos and create the slides and show you video examples and all of the things that I'm doing are to help you make this shift. I know it's not easy to get a kid unhooked on tech and hooked on you. I'm trying to help you make that process happen through the challenge of it. So that's why it's super important that you join me, okay, for this challenge. Let's see. I've noticed him coming up and wanting to play peekaboo and touching my eyes. He's being saying pop and mama up, and it's amazing. So see, you can see Ashley found after a week. Maybe it's not completely reduced her tech time, but whatever she's doing to call attention to herself is working, because that's how you know, is you see the evidence from the child of things that are happening. And Jasmine says they've improved a lot, but they still pull our hands. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop you, Jasmine. This word right here that says but. They've improved a lot, but. Whenever you focus on what comes after that sentence, I'm not even reading it, instead of they've improved, that's where you're getting stuck. You're literally going to run into a wall over and over and over again, because consistency is key for this kind of improvement, Jasmine. And unless you show up, it's not, you haven't even been one whole week and you're complaining that it's something else is happening or some difference is going to happen. Of course, there's going to be differences that happen. You're changing a lot. That means when you see symptoms changing, that means that you are activating that change. And these symptoms aren't necessarily wrong or bad. They're your child's process of evolving their communication. And so this is a really good time to remind all of you about my books. You can access these books. The link is in the description on Amazon worldwide. You can get my 11-week language facilitation journey to speech, or it's also called The Journey to Shift Behavior into Speaking. And you can also get my first book, If It Isn't Fun, It Isn't Fun. And you can visit wavesofcommunication.com to access my training and coaching programs, because, again, you are not the only one that's doing this. I've developed an entire platform with resources to equip and empower parents, grandparents, grandmas, nannies, teachers, speech therapists, shadow teachers, aides, whoever else, the maid, the woman who comes to walk your dog, the mailman. Anytime you're around children who are using nonverbal communication, just like Jasmine was talking about, the entire process that I teach you step by step by step is what makes those things change. You are not going to make your child change, but you can change as their facilitator. Okay? So you can access those resources anytime beginning now. And in that workbook, you're going to see a lot of flavor from this challenge that I'm giving you. You're going to see pages that I resource off of there, my charts, so you can judge and categorize your own kinds of connection, so that you know your connection is better than tech, because you're designing it specifically to be better than tech. It's going to meet your child's emotional needs. It's going to meet their sensory needs. It's going to meet their intelligence needs. It's going to meet their self-esteem needs, not just providing them with vocabulary to memorize and perform on command in exchange for a cookie or reinforcement or something. This is not that sort of bribe and imitation and follow me, pulling words kind of process. This is a process where you equip these children for independent improvement. Okay? So I see there's more description. Ashley's saying her child goes between hand leading to bringing me what he wants to showing me improvement. These things are going to be addressed in the 3rd week of the challenge, right? Social and speech development. That's going to come at the 3rd week, because everybody, you're trying to jump the gun here. You're trying to get your kid to start talking without providing them with the structure to learn the spoken language they need. Okay? You cannot jump this. You cannot make it happen. Your kid's not going to spout out words as quickly as they do when you bribe them, because these words are only going to come when the child is prepared to use them confidently and realize that these pulling around things are too limiting for them. Right now, they're better than what they used to do. They used to just scream and the stuff arrived. Now they're bringing you and dragging you and evolving their nonverbal communication into spoken language. And that's why this book is called, the other version I have, is how you evolve the nonverbal communication into spoken language. So we got to follow the process. I'm not going to let you jump the gun, everybody. You've got to follow this challenge properly, or it won't succeed for you. So It's time to double down on connection. Week 1, that video is available. The link is in the description of this video if you haven't seen it yet. If not, go to the YouTube channel, Waves of Communication on YouTube, and look at the live videos. They're all right there. But I want you to also remember that this live experience is only going to be available for 1 month. On June 1st, it moves into the member access area only. And as a matter of fact, I'm using this information to put together a member only access, language facilitation, virtual autism, basically a plan to get you through it in a more simplified version so that you can stay with it. And that's going to be a member only feature that I'm developing out of this workshop. So the free access to all of this information is limited to this month. So if you know anybody, you want to share it with them, you want to get it to them now, you want to activate some kind of membership so you can download them, whatever, I'm making it accessible now. But then I need the information to come back. And so I want you to do a few things for me. Number 1, in exchange for this real, free, complete information I'm giving you in this workshop, I am requesting that you join my newsletter so that I can ask you more questions like I did on this video and get your feedback so that we can not just justify, but legitimize the concept of virtual autism to people in the community, professionals in the community who are biased towards autism spectrum disorder right now. We want that bias to stop so that children start to get the appropriate intervention to help them catch up, similar to what I'm teaching in this workshop. And I'll be moving forward to teach on my Waves of Communication platform, where I'm going to be offering certification for all professionals, whether you're at the first level as a shadow teacher, a nanny, a caregiver, a helper at home, a babysitter, all the way up through being a professional psychologist or speech pathologist and incorporating natural spoken language facilitation coaching into your professional practice so that your clients don't have to go out seeking somebody else who is going to try to make their kids do things. You want to build a team of professionals, of people around you, and that's what I'm going to be offering in my platform moving forward. So that's what we're going to be doing. So Ashley says, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Thank you for teaching us about this. And it's my pleasure. I'm super happy to be here. And again, I really need your feedback. So one more time, for those of you just joining me now and those of you watching on the replay, there's at least 10 people watching right now. And so for all of you, I'm putting out the request for you to comment 3 things. Number 1, how much tech time have you reduced since you started this challenge? Number 2, what's your go-to replacement activity for tech time? What are you having fun doing, just connecting, enjoying space, and proving that you are more valuable than scrolling through the same video 500 times? It's not that hard. Moms and dads and grandmas and nannies and friends, it's not that hard. What's your go-to replacement activity? What are you doing to get these kids motivated to drop the tech and focus on you? Because once you do, then you can teach them anything. But you've got to get this far first. And what are you using? Other people want to know. Help share, please. And then what changes have you seen so far since you reduced tech time and you started to increase it with connected experiences, fun, play, getting outside, digging in the dirt, playing with water, visiting places, taking car rides? What are you doing instead of tech time? Other people want to know, and that's going to help them stick to the challenge with super connected to the device people. And if you're not very, creative yourself, that's when you want to team up with someone like a nanny or a teacher, a preschool teacher, people like you out there who have a whole classroom or a whole group of kids that you're trying to get believing and trusting that you are a better experience than sitting at home on their device. It's going to be up to you to do this. And I want to know how you're doing it so you can share with everybody else. And then the last two requests that I have for all of you is like this video. Please hit the like button. Share this challenge with your friends. It's really important we get as many people as possible to give this a shot. Even if your child has a diagnosis of ADHD or ASD, even if it's severe. If your child has had more than 2 hours of technology in the last 6 months every day, and or they have been accessing technology since before they were 1 year old, these are the children who are affected by misdiagnosis, misjudgment, and bias because they literally have not learned what they need because nobody's taught them. That's the only reason. These phones can't teach the speech and social skills that your child needs to be successful going to school, meeting people, being in the world. You can see how the teenagers are doing it. They don't even know how to go to a party and dance and listen to music together. They would rather be sitting on the corners on their phone. Why does that happen? Because that tech experience somehow became normalized and better than what they have in their environment. And the only way you're going to get this to turn around is by showing them what you have better. And working together, we can help each other find out the better things to do. So last time, don't forget to join me on Thursday. We're moving into the next phase about structure and how you're going to, once you got connected with this child, how to prove to them that you're the one to learn from, and that just scrolling through random things on text on tech devices will not help them evolve their skills the same way that personal exploration and trial and error, making mistakes and learning from real life experiences where you have trial and error and cause and effect, and listening to people like you share your personal experiences about life. Think about how you learned how not to do a lot of things. Somebody said, I did that when I was a child and I got hurt or I fell down or whatever. And how many times you didn't listen and you tried it anyway. And the only way you learned was from experiencing it yourself, right? You can watch 500 YouTube videos, but you're never going to learn the experience of eating Indian food or smelling a garden or running through the sunshine in a waterfall without experiencing those things in real life. They're better than technology. Even though technology is great, you can show them better. And once you connect, you can teach them anything. And that's what's important about this challenge. Okay, so that's the end of my little rant, a little Q&A. Thank you for joining me on this one, everybody, both live and on the replay. Like I said, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell because you never know when I'm coming live with another bit to help support you. And I'm going to be subscribed to that newsletter because every week I'm offering more and more opportunities about personal meetups as I travel. I'm going to be going to Chicago. I'm going to be going to Washington, D.C. I'm potentially looking at Canada and California, opportunities to get around the continent that I'm on right now instead of traveling all around, to spend my summer working with North American families. So if you fall into that category, you definitely want to be subscribed. I'm not leaving you Indian and Asia families out either. Don't worry. All of the resources are available online. So you can access all the training as much as you need. That's what we're going to be developing here. So thanks again for your attention, your focus, your consideration for virtual autism as a real phenomena that's happening with families. Because once you realize your influence, both in a good way and in a challenging way, then you can change it and you can change your child's life. And I want to help you do that here on the Waves of Communication channel. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you all on Thursday for the next episode in the Virtual Autism Challenge. Bye for now.